Well, welcome to everybody to the show. It is time for TCG's AMA, and I'm excited. This is Pj Krypto here, and I've got my co-host here, John Dixon. John, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Can't wait to talk to two people that I talk to every single day.
There you go,
Yes,
and we've got them. We've got them here. That's right, and of course we've got our founders here, David and Paul. They're live from Canada. How you guys doing?
I'm doing great, man. It's finally awesome to see David in person.
Yeah, look, I woke up this morning. First thing I did was message Paul, and we went and had our first official meet. And we spent the last 3 hours walking around and getting to know each other properly. So after 2 years, we finally meet face to face and spend a couple of days together.
You guys are smiling from ear to ear, I can see, and it's good that you guys are getting some quality time out there. But Canada, why Canada? Why? Enlighten us all here, because we've seen the thumbnails, we've seen the graphics that went out about this AMA, and it's got Canada in the backdrop here. Why Canada? Curious.
So, literally 2 weeks ago, we had a special invite from our friends at Unity for me to come to meet with their team to discuss the new technologies and the next few years planning for TCG World. So I kept it quiet because I wanted to come and meet with Paul and surprise everybody as to why we were here. But essentially, I've spent the last couple of days with all of the heads of different departments from Unity, learning about the technologies that they have just announced this week. And they've kind of coincided the launch of the new technologies with my visit to come and see them. So we are feeling very, very special at the minute.
Yeah, it's a great time.
Can you share a little bit of details of what you guys have been talking about, or what can we talk? What can we share here with the community?
So look, we've had an envisioning session, and what that means is we've sat with Unity and we've said, where are we going in the next 6 months? Where are we going in the next year? And where are we going in the next 2 years? So we've started to plan out the next 2 years of additions into TCG World. Obviously, we've got the deliverables that we want to deliver for phase 1 by October this year. But now we're planning, what else can we do with TCG World? What is going to bring in more and more gamers into the world? And how do we improve the experience? And how do we provide different modes of gaming? So there may be different things added into the world after the initial world is delivered that will continue to expand and grow TCG over the next 2, 3, 4, and 5 years. So no final decision has been made on what those are going to be, but from what I've seen and what we've discussed, it's very exciting.
What's their impressions by your vision here of what you see, the world turning into over the next couple of years? Like, I'm curious on what they think about us as a metaverse play and the gaming play. What's their reaction to that?
I don't think they've ever seen anything quite like TCG World, because obviously what we've built and what we're building and what we want to achieve, every other game concentrates on a single experience. So they may have a concert or they may have education, but there's not anything else out there at the minute that's going to encompass everything as a true metaverse. And I think they're very on board with the vision. They love what we've done and what we're doing. And they want to help us, and they want to bring in technology that's going to accelerate our programming, help out with our current studio to really accelerate what they can achieve and how they're going to achieve it. And we're going to show a couple of little videos of the new technology that was announced literally 2 days ago. I was sitting in their office with their team at the time of the announcement, and their stock jumped, I think, 10% at the time of that announcement. And this is a billion-dollar company invited me to sit in their offices to be the first to be showcased this technology too. So that is special to me. Having that relationship with Unity where they want us to be using all their technology, they want to be showing it to us. And it's kind of like that proud moment from them to come to us and say, look at what we've got. This is what we want you to be using. This is going to help you with, improving development, increasing production times. Some of the stuff is just insane. The ability for both user-generated content, developer tools for our own studio, is worlds away from what it was 2 years ago when we first started. So, and being
I'm
one of the
reading-
first companies to have access to that and working directly with Unity to improve that experience is just mind blowing. And during the meeting, so throughout the day, for the first day, we had 7 or 8 Unity head of departments in the room. And throughout the day, different people kept coming in to join different meetings. But then they would invite people from other parts of the world to jump on to calls with us and explain their part of the product and their part of the development and the team. And then they would actually sit and listen to our feedback and what we wanted to bring into that. So we may end up having some of our ideas brought into Unity's technology as well.
Ooh, okay.
Dave,
Wow.
It's been an
Dave,
exciting couple of days.
What's that, John?
I'm just seeing in the chat Griffin21 saying, how is it possible that David and Paul are so humble about this? They sound so calm over something that is absolutely mind-blowing. I wouldn't be able to contain myself. That echoes what's in my head and everyone else in the community as well. You are so, oh yeah, this is what's happened this week.
Just hanging out with a billion-dollar company and their global team operations, tuning in to share knowledge back and forth between us and wow, yeah. How do you contain yourself?
I've been on tenterhooks all week because I didn't want to drop anything too much in the chat. But look, I feel very privileged that we as TCG have been invited into that scenario, and they wanted us to have the sneak preview as it was going out live and have their team there to go through all the different features, all the different technologies, how it benefits us. And how their team can help us to bring it all into fruition.
Yeah, Paul, you're fading in and out a little bit. I think it's
we've got
halos.
It's the background and it's all fuzzy and stuff.
It's like he's disappearing. He's doing the Casper the Ghost with us here. But no, it's.
I'm not sure.
So you're talking about
before. I was saying before we started this, by the way, to me, you both look like Jedi Knights. That scene at the end of Star Wars where everyone comes back. So
I don't know if anyone's commented on the background, but have a little sneak preview of the background.
Oh,
yes,
hello.
Yes. We have more of that juiciness that we're going to share here today. Yes, compliments of our chief gaming officer has dropped us some information on that piece to share. We're excited to show that a bit. But thank you for putting that as your background. It's a nice teaser there for the community. So we talk about Unity and the tech and everything that you're getting introduced to, David and Paul. So we have a couple of videos that we can show the community about this technology. Which one do you want to show first? There's a couple that we're looking to highlight today.
Do you have all three? Yeah.
I have the two. The two Unity clips, and then we have another one for the build itself. But
okay, well let's start off with Unity Muse, and then we can go into Unity Centis as the first two, and these are literally technologies that have just been publicly announced 2 days ago, whilst I was sat in the office with Unity.
Let's take a look at Muse and let's come back and digest. So community, let's take a look at this video and we'll go into it a little bit further. Okay. All right. Unity Muse.
Yes.
So tell us about a little bit more about this, what we just witnessed there.
So Unity Muse is a developer toolkit that basically uses AI to fast track development. So you saw in the video, you can do a backflip. So simple commands then convert into code that can be used in work. So for example, there you see a character doing a backflip. I've seen characters being created to do golf swings, to do breakdancing.
all kinds of stuff.
So all of a sudden, instead of spending weeks and weeks developing code for certain items within the world, our development team can utilize AI within Unity to very quickly create anything we can imagine. And AI is there to help us with that creation. So as it's built in Unity Editor, it's instant. So the creators, the studio will type in a series of commands. It then automatically generates the code for that, and we can add it to the characters or the avatar. So it's automating the process a lot quicker for game development and different instances within the world. So if we want to create a tennis game, you can simply create the moves and the avatar controls for that tennis game. You also saw the 2D sprite, they call it sprite building designs, where you can actually take 2D designs, change the roof, change the colors through commands. So this is what we call the sort of early development of where we're going to end up in 3 to 6 months or 9 months, where you'll be able to have simple commands to create whole buildings. It's only 2D at the minute, but I've seen environmental changes. I've seen videos where they can change the interior design of a building with simple scripted commands. But that's not the end of it. They've also got a sketch tool. So you can sketch a table, for example, and then the AI will come up with 3D models of preloaded assets or pre-generated content with all the options for tables. So you can use that for interactive learning with kids, students, all the way through to universities, where you don't need to be a skilled drawer. You just need to be able to do a basic sketch in 2D, and then the AI will create those items for you. So when people are building out homes, businesses, galleries, events, you can do everything very quickly through sketches directly into Unity and into the world. So it's not just the developer side of it that's going to be dramatically improved, but also the user experience.
So, David, we got a great question from Odin's Beard on that particular topic. It's, can we develop our own mini games and events on our plots with this?
So let's get to the user-generated content for that first. But essentially, yes. So using Unity Editor is quite a complex process. So you've got to learn Unity, you've got to learn C++. Adding in AI is going to help, but we don't expect everybody to learn Unity to be able to do this. So we've got another tool that we're going to announce today, which is the user-generated content tool, which is specifically designed for that. So the simple answer is, the idea is to empower everybody as a developer through AI. It's still in its early stages, but as we grow and evolve and we start using it, the community starts using it, new tools will become available, and we should be first in line for beta testing all of these tools coming out.
Wow.
Which is exciting.
Yeah, it's
super exciting. Yeah. It's super exciting. I'm going to ask a kind of a little bit of a loaded question. Are there other metaverses they're interacting with at this scale right now on this level, David and Paul, or are we kind of like the one pony show here, or can you even say?
I know other companies that are working with them, but they're billion-dollar companies. You know, I don't know the full client list of who's doing what with Unity. All I know is it feels like we are getting very VIP treatment.
Yeah.
To be invited there to their offices, to come and spend the day with them, and then a second day of meetings, to see all this technology live. And the fact that they're bringing in all of the heads of departments on all of the different product lines, showcase, get feedback from us, see what we like about it, see what we don't like about it, is kind of...
It's a big deal. It's a big thing.
Yeah.
Wow. It makes it worth saying, though, without saying too much, that you're talking about billion-dollar companies, and then we want to be a billion dollar.
Yeah.
But the point is if we get that value, you know, if we're on that same level, then surely we are worth more than we are right now.
Well, no,
that way kind of thing. I don't want to say too much about coin price. But
we're here to produce the experience. And, you know, we're going to go into a little bit more detail as to where we are in terms of each product. And we'll call them separate products at the minute because the WebGL and the full world are separate products. But we're making massive progress on a lot of different things all at once. And all we want to do is provide the experience for everybody to come in, enjoy themselves, and that in itself provides the value.
Definitely.
So by having users in the world going to concerts, going to events, utilizing education, using AI tools for creation, and then having the gaming experience to go along with that is exactly what we envisioned 2 years ago.
There's something for everybody.
I know you had mentioned that they're working with other billion-dollar companies, right? So I think one thing that's, and I, me, I'm just talking about corporate America, where I, in real life, what I interact with, I feel like these big companies, they just move a lot slower, right? And do you think that's an advantage for us, that we're not one of these big glaciers of a company, right? That, has whatever, a lot of red tape that we have to go through, that they have to go through, and we don't necessarily have that. Do you think that's an advantage?
We have the power to enable decisions very quickly. So if we like a product, and there's a couple of products that I've seen that I really, really love, we literally can start using it instantly. We don't need to wait for boards to approve it, for anything. I literally, in the meeting, said to a lot of things, I want that now. And we have access to it already. So literally, between the last 2 days, we have already started setting up some of these things that we're going to be putting in action as soon as possible. And I keep going back to the user-generated content one, because that is one of my biggest passions for the community, is to enable the community an easy way to bring in their own content into the world. And as we get more into this and more into the UGC side, everyone will see why. It's pretty much exactly what I envisioned 2 years ago. We started to build it out with our in-game build tool so that people can build their own homes. But now we have pretty much everything we need on a plate to be able to enable content creators and also for them to monetize. So we'll wait until the right segment for that. But this is what I'm most excited about, is enabling people to create, build, import into the world, market themselves, and be creative.
We did get a question in the chat, and I don't know if this is something we're prepared to answer, but the question is, and this is from Paul Rolfe. Sounds great. So where does this now leave our development and release schedules where we are right now?
Yeah, look, it just helps our release schedule. So a lot of the kind of mini games, your fishing, your farming, your battle systems, now we've got these tools, we can speed up development on some of those. So, we've already spent the time developing a fishing system and a farming system and the crux, but now we can add to that very quickly. So we're not going to push forward the releases yet, but we plan to create as much more of an experience within that time frame as we can. So the more features and gameplay we can add into the world during this development, the better for the community and the better experience for the users. That being said, you're going to show some sneak previews of the WebGL build. That is already built and is already in early testing. So now Jace and a few are doing final feedbacks for the studio. Within the next couple of weeks, we should implement all those changes, ready to start getting test groups in. So we're really excited, because that's the first product that is built. It's hosted by Unity Gaming Services. So scalability and things like that are a lot easier. And this is something that we've worked very hard over the last few months, and giving Jace a shout out. He's been non-stop on this, literally 24 hours a day, to get this ready for everybody.
Well, we do have some images, compliments of Jace dropping that in, although it was the 11th hour it got sent. We still were able to squeeze it in. Thanks, Jace, for getting that to us. So we can cut away to that, but it's actually something we can talk over while we're showing it, guys. Yep. So why don't I go ahead and cue that up here? I know the community is probably really anxious. Before I show that, though, is this similar to what we're going to be seeing for the build for the comedy show, or that's going to be coming, the roasted comedy event? Yeah. That's correct. This is that build, yes? Okay. Okay, cool. All right, let me pull up that right now. And here we go. We got some images coming up. You got a little bit of a lag delay there for you guys as you're watching the replay, but yeah, it's now showing up on the screen here. Curious what the community thinks about what they're seeing. Do let us know in the chat. This is the WebGL build that is hot off the press.
So in
Worth
order for
explaining the WebGL for anybody who's not familiar with the term WebGL.
yeah, so the
they've got
term
an understanding.
WebGL, so this is one of Unity's products that essentially is a browser-based application. So you don't need to download the client. Initially, it takes maybe 30 seconds to download, and then it's cached onto your PC so that you can access it essentially from any device. So we don't do a specific PC build, Mac build. It is just a browser build. So you can access off mobile, Mac, PC, any device that allows access to it. It is a lot more optimized than the main world. So you'll notice the graphics look stunning here, but these are really super optimized graphics that allow for a speedy download through a browser. So whilst I'm blown away by this, this is the start of what's to come in the full world.
John, I don't know about you, but I'm blown away by how beautiful these images look like. I am ecstatic to get in this build. Can't wait for that. What do you think, John?
Well, I've been lucky enough to, and Dave, you didn't mention it there because you probably don't want me to get bombarded with questions, but I have been testing it as not just as a worker for TCG World, but also just as a person. Can I load it in my internet browser? How long does it take to start working? And when Dave says 30 seconds, I don't want to say what it will be like when we release it, but it's a little bit quicker than 30 seconds actually. And you're straight in running around. You're not having to download a game, waiting for like an hour for something that's X amount of gig. You literally just go to a website address and then 30 seconds later you're playing, wandering around a mini part of TCG World. And I don't want to name other certain metaverses that have been around for a while, but they use the same kind of logic as running on an internet browser. It doesn't look like this. So we're already ahead of the game. I mean, it's gorgeous to look at. It's really smooth. And we just need to make sure it's bulletproof for when we release for the comedy festival.
And look,
it's looking good.
This is essentially the upgrade to Party Island. So the old Party Island that we had for concerts and events and testing, throughout the meetings with Unity, and that was still a downloadable client. So what we decided was, rather than taking the Party Island build and turning that into WebGL, this is actually part of the main city in TCG World. So as we've developed out the main city, we've taken a segment of that city and we've turned that into the WebGL build, so that this will actually be in the full world when that's built out and finalized. But this is a snippet of what's to come. So this allows, we've got an education center, we've got a couple of concert centers, so we can have events, education, exploration, the community can do performances within there as well. So that it gives community engagement and a use case for the users. Then as we start to roll out the full world, a lot of that will go into there, but to remove the barriers from entry for global adoption, having a WebGL build so you can access off any device is kind of like your entry into the metaverse. So you come into the WebGL build, you explore, you hang out with some friends, you go to a couple of concerts, then you say, hey, I want to try the full world now. And then you can download the full world to experience that. So this is
a couple of questions.
Barrier.
We got some questions. Yeah. Let me go grab a couple. Thank you, John. Yeah, we do have some questions coming through. If you're okay taking these.
One that I'm seeing about is this going to be on one server or separate ones like before? And if you can also allude to how many people servers can handle, things like that.
Yeah. Well, so this is hosted by Unity Game Services. So typical games like Apex Legends all use this technology. So it's designed for 64 to 100 players per server, and then it just regenerates instances. So like any normal game, at the minute, this is the entry-level technology where you may get 100 players per server. We don't know until we final test, but the numbers quoted to us are between 64 and 100 players per server. Then it generates a new instance. As this is a small area, this allows for a kind of concert-level experience. As we go into the full world, that's where the new technology will host the whole world, where we will have a lot more players per server. And the numbers quoted there are a lot higher.
Is this? We got some questions about location too. I'm sorry, John. Go ahead. What?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I was going to say to Dave. I've heard numbers as well. I'm going to bite my lip because we're still testing. I don't want to give false promises, but yeah, we'll give numbers later when we've done the testing.
Also, just
a lot more than the numbers that Dave's just said.
There is lobby and multiplayer features so that you can join a lobby with friends and enter the same server. So essentially, it's the same as any normal game on the market at the minute that's hosted by companies like Unity, where you can have 60 plus players, you can join with your friends, you've got the chat features within the game, and it just allows an easy entry for anybody not having to learn about crypto, just to come in and experience it.
Beautiful. And what about the location of this? Like, when we think about the old build and the map and everything, whereabouts is this going to be located? Is something that could be accessible through the main build, or is it only through the WebGL, or how does that work? Yeah.
So a bit of both. So the main build has a higher definition version of this in the central city. Okay. So everything is going to be in Central City. We did release a little layout map of that quite a while ago. We actually have an architect working full-time with Jace on improving the road layouts and everything. So that will be released shortly once they have finished mapping out everything in there.
Got it.
So it's in the main city. That's all I can say until Jace releases the map.
These questions are coming in strong, guys. You guys okay to field these right now? Yeah, is that okay?
Yeah.
We got some really good ones coming up here. So Paul Rolf asks, so the world will effectively be technology PC console agnostic. I don't know about console, but technology would be PC agnostic. Like, if no matter what,
browser.
they will.
It's browser. It doesn't matter.
Browser based. Yeah. So basically, like, even if I had an iPad, I could use that browser, right? Effectively to play it. Players will be able to play across their various devices at will with the same experience overall, like multiplayer. I guess is kind of what they're alluding to there on the WebGL.
Yes.
Beautiful. Then we have also. Go ahead.
Sorry, PJ. If you're on a Mac and John's on a laptop and Paul's on an iPhone, we can all join the same instance. It doesn't.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
So the idea is, if you want to go to an education lecture, and you don't have a laptop and you're in a country that doesn't have laptops and computers widely available, you can jump in off a phone and you can go and watch a lecture.
Can I watch a lecture while I'm on the bus to work?
Yeah.
If you've got internet on your bus and you want to watch a lecture,
wow,
there you go.
I could get an education while I'm traveling to work. That's great.
We also got a question from Kenneth here, one of our most active Twitter members out there. Can the utilization of Unity potentially affect the PC build requirements to play in the world?
So essentially, the utilization of Unity's team means that the whole world is going to be as optimized as possible. So the practices that are put in place by Unity are mind-boggling. So literally, every item within the world has its own brief as to how that works and how that code implements and affects other aspects of the world. So I've learned a ton from Unity, to the point where, I could almost become an AI user programmer. But yeah, look, the things that they have done to help us to become a professional gaming company are insane. So the answer is, by having Unity's assistance, the game will be far more optimized for PC, Mac, any other builds that we do, than it ever would have been without them.
That's fine.
Perfect. We got also a question from our beat writer, Roy, from the Spry Report. In the future, when the PC build is available and the whole world is explorable, how much of the world will be browser build versus, I guess, just downloadable build?
That we've just got to test. So we've got to see how big the overall file is for the main world, what effect that has on load times. So currently it's around 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer, probably a little bit bigger. And then as we go, we will see what we can extend it into. But for now, we're going to treat it as two separate builds. The WebGL build has been fully optimized, all of the landscaping, trees, roads, everything. We've had a specialist team working with Jace to bring that file size down to a suitable size for WebGL. Now, once that's finished, we will concentrate firmly on the full build. Then we will look at other options after that. So we will keep the WebGL open as its own sort of build for now, so people can use that while the full world is finalized. Then we will look at other options for mobile.
Okay. All right.
So you've got to remember, mobile can't handle huge build sizes. So we need to be realistic as to what will work on mobile and be a good experience, as opposed to what is better for PC, Mac, and things like that.
I think you've mentioned before, like about how you'd have like the mini games, right? That would be more mobile based, right? So like the farming, the fishing, those kind of things, right? It's kind of those little experiences
that are easier to manage for a mobile device.
Right. So speaking of the gamification of the game, I know we have some images that we're going to show about the sprites that have been coming along pretty good, right? The build out of those and the what do you call it when they do that in the modeling, but exactly.
The rigging, the animation. So in terms of that, so we had the first version of the animation sent through a few weeks ago. Me and the team have gone through every single animation. We've given feedback to the studio on what we want changing. So they are literally just making the final changes to send through the final review for us. And then we can start integrating them into the world. And this is perfect timing because we now have access to the new AI tools in World for, battle animations. We've already done a lot of animations to these creatures and sprites, but now we can improve on that and we can keep adding more and more. So dragons doing backflips and things like that. This is stuff that we can use AI to help us improve.
Beautiful. Let's show those let's show those images of the sprites.
These images have been created by our new graphic designer who spent the last month or so with us, really learning about the vision for the sprites, the battles, and how that's all going to work. And I think these are early images, not final, but I think he's really hit the nail on the head.
Let's take a look. Thank you, David.
Thank you.
They look beautiful. I don't know, man.
I am loving the sprites. So from Mike Miller's hand-drawn drawings a year ago to now fully live animated, they look amazing. So big shout out to Mike Miller. Obviously he created all these and he did an amazing job. And taking those concepts to now having them as real life models is amazing to see.
Excellent. Yes. So,
and I don't know if we've lost PJ. He's come away from our camera. Oh, wait, PJ.
What's that? I'm here. What do you mean?
We can't see you anymore on our thing.
Oh, no?
I can't.
Are you sure?
It must be my computer.
Sure? I'm here, guys.
I've got your PJ.
Okay. All right.
I haven't, so bear with me.
Maybe. Yeah. Don't leave the room, bud.
Well, do you want to go
Read the
to the
room.
next video, PJ?
Yeah, let's while John's working on some technical stuff, let's jump to the other technology that you guys have been introduced from Unity, and you've actually have now looked at bringing this into TCG. I took a look at this earlier. It's phenomenal. This is the hot topics that are out there right now. Let's go ahead and jump away to that video and digest it for everyone when we come back. Yeah,
Excellent.
Yeah,
Thank you.
so
let's do it. Let's do it.
Hello there.
Greetings.
What's your name?
My name is Orb. I'm an extraterrestrial visitor who has come to Earth to study and understand humans.
What hairstyles would you choose if you had hair?
If I had hair, I would probably go for a messy bun or ponytail. I like how they look on other people and I think they're easy to maintain.
What's the secret to life?
The secret to life is to find something you love to do and do it every day.
Okay.
Now,
AI is a big hot topic, man. So yeah.
So Sentis. So there's been a lot of different sort of AI products that have gone into this, and this was created with Unity and a team that also worked on Avatar. I'm sure some of you know the technology. You heard Andrew from Unity talk about the technology. Now it's been brought to life. So it's not just about AI voice. It's now about hand gestures following the user. So you can have user-generated hand image controls, facial recognition, where your mouth movement, your face movement, all is transformed into an AI, into an avatar in the world. So the way I'm envisioning this at the minute is performances. So you get a performer in their house, a comedian, a musician. Yeah. Now all of a sudden they have their avatar, but we're able to lip sync. We're able to have their face move and things like this. So it just takes AI and use cases in the world to a different level.
My mind's blown right now. Just sorry. This is incredible. This is incredible, David. It's I think our world is going to be completely unrecognizable from the last alpha build. Really, with all this tech you're talking about.
I mean, AI is going to be one of the tools that helps us to progress faster, to progress better, to have more content in the world. Imagine, somebody wants to do interior design, use an AI to realize your dreams without having to be able to create it yourself. It's just game changing. I was watching demo videos. They had a really nice interior. By simple commands, you could change the flooring, the walls, the windows, the colors, the textures, and everything is just done for you.
We have a great question here on this topic from Roy. Will our avatars have this technology so we can make emotes on the spot and not rely on pre-made emotes, or is that?
It's going to be pre-made initially. However, with the full world build, we are in talks of adding some of this as user available content. But I don't know how much process is going to be needed. If you've got 10,000 people trying to add in their own content at the same time, we need to look at the implications. So the answer is, if it's capable, we will make sure it's available to the users. But I think at this early stage, where it's just been built, it's just been made available, we're going to test it. We're going to have maybe some community members create some content with music. Mark Powers, for example, did a great sort of performance for us. Mm-hmm. We can allow the community to come in and play around with this tech as a development level, and we'll just keep testing it and evolve it. And as soon as it's ready for everybody to use it, we will open it up. But we've got to do it in a manageable way.
yeah.
Paul, you've been a little quiet. Anything you want to add there?
Oh, I'm just happy that I get to finally hang out with David in person and talk to you guys about everything. It's been awesome. It's a good time to be here with you guys.
Sweet. So let's see here. We've got another question here. Let's see. From Griffin 21. So amazing to see the pieces falling into place. Secures the future for TCG World, working with partnering with the bleeding edge technology partner providers. Amazing. Oh, it's not. It's more like a statement, I guess, than a question. But I think it's happy. I think it's happy. Sorry about that. I thought it was a question.
For me, it's the fact that we've got the creators and the designers, and they're all empowered by the technology that's changing. But because the technology keeps getting better, then the art and the creativity keeps coming up, and that then means that the technology keeps coming up. And I think it's Pixar that said that the technology and the art keep driving each other to get better and better.
Yeah. Well, look,
and that's what I'm seeing.
You look at where we were a year ago with AI, and I started looking at AI probably nearly 2 years ago with the brains that were coming out as NFTs and trying to figure out how we can bring that all into the world. And now AI is finally catching up to where we wanted it to be, so that we can keep utilizing AI to improve the experience for users. But we've got to do it in a socially, responsible way. AI is still very early, and we want to make sure that the products and services we're using and bringing in empower creators, provide education, provide a better way of life for people that wouldn't have access to this in any other way, and provide interactive experiences. So we're speaking to universities in the US. So we want to provide education experiences where you may get a lecturer coming in and hosting a lecture to 50 students. But then by having somebody on the opposite side of the world having access to that same lecture, it provides groundbreaking education globally. And because it's an immersive experience where you're in there as your avatar, you create your digital persona in the world, you feel more engaged than you would sitting on a website trying to do a class on your own. It's having that camaraderie, that experience, be able to chat to somebody next to you and feel like you're involved in that.
Love it. Love it. That education's big for me, David. You know this. And I love that we're making that a focal point for TCG World and getting access to education that in parts of the world just doesn't exist, right? So, and then, you talk about the accessibility.
I want to give another shout out to Dr. Justin Goldston from SIDTech. I know we've been a partner for a long time, but me and him chat very regularly, coming up with lots of different plans, speaking to different universities. He's giving me contacts, I'm giving him contacts. We're making a lot of progress. If we can just get a couple of big universities in using the world to provide these education classes, then it's going to help everybody. And it will slowly start to become adopted around the world. So
I do have another video. We have another video. Unity video that I got from you there. It's on that link that you sent to me, David. So I'm going to pull that up right now. Do you want to give a little flavor for it while I get this thing put up on screen?
Yeah. So look, this is the tool that I've been waiting for everyone. So this is the user generated content SDK that allows us to freely give users the creation tools they need. So whether you're creating in Blender or whether you want to create inside the tool, we will build out preset assets, prefab assets, so that people can build their own homes or businesses. But also you'll be able to import from Blender, FBX files, create your content within the SDK. Then it comes through for moderation. And that means that we can have our internal team check to make sure that we're happy with the items that are coming into the world. It creates a gallery for you so you can showcase all your different items. It has the monetization capability. However, we still need to develop the kind of marketplace contracts to allow people to be able to sell their items within the world. But this to me is huge. This is the biggest part of today's AMA, is having that tool for everybody in the community to be able to start using. Over the next couple of weeks, we will customize it all, brand it all up for TCG, open it up. So even whilst we're still building the world, everybody can start making their content.
You know what? I'm muted. Hold on. I don't know. You probably didn't hear anything I just said to there for the viewers. I'm sorry. So I muted myself because I was watching that video there. But guys, we're going to show this clip here, and we'll be able to talk to it if we want. But also the audio should come through. I hope I figured it out. I hope I got that right. But I'm kind of doing this on the fly. This late content we're kind of throwing up on screen here, hot off the press. But let me go ahead and show that real quick here for the folks. All right, here we go.
Here we go. Is that the right one?
Wait, that's the wrong one.
Earlier.
Sorry. I grabbed the wrong one. Oh, there we go. This one?
No. Let me send you the.
No. Which one on here, David?
Hang on, let me send you.
Do I have the wrong link here? Those are the
Yes.
ones we just showed.
They're saying there's no sound as well.
Oh, no sound? Okay, let me
Yeah,
me
but
fix that real quick.
it's moot anyway, pardon the pun, because you're going to find the new video as well.
This was a last minute edition, so excuse me for a sec. There we go. Yeah, copy link. Coming through to you now, PJ.
Okay. Got it. Yeah, it might not have audio, guys. But nonetheless, we do want to still share. Well, let me see if I can get the audio to come through. Hold on a second here. Real quick. Yeah, we're doing this fun on the fly. I love it. Here we go. Oh, no, that's not it. There we go. I don't know if that's it. No, hold on. Oh my gosh, guys.
All right, relax.
All right, let's see here. All right. Okay. Here we go. Hopefully we don't get an echo, but let's try that. All right, and here we go. All right, hopefully you get the audio there, guys, but here we go.
Welcome back, everybody. Our next session will provide a quick overview of how to utilize UGC to enable your community to start creating
Hold on, grabbing 1080p.
content to
There we
your
go.
game and help your players and start engaging with it.
Oh, you might need
Please
to fast
welcome
forward. That's quite a
speaker
long one.
Zia
An hour
Jamali,
long.
product manager
Yeah, I was going
at
to say it's a
Unity.
very long
More.
video, this one.
Awesome. All right.
I watched it the other
everyone
night.
hear me? Cool. We're gonna just jump right
We can
in.
post the link for everyone to watch the
everyone,
full video.
Yeah,
I'm glad you can
it's a
make
very,
it.
it's all
So we're gonna
explains
be
all
going
about
over
how
user-generated
how
content
Unity
and how it's influenced the industry
giving us
so
a tool
far.
for
We'll be
everyone
going
to have
into
user
the different
generated
challenges we
content.
face
Here we
when
go.
trying
Oh,
to
there,
enable
PJ.
UGC for your communities, and then we'll be going into how Unity UGC can help you get started. So generally speaking, most of
And
us
yes,
have
they're
become very
confirming they
accustomed
can hear
to a
it
ton
as
of
well.
user-generated content. Be it on YouTube, where I can spend hours watching Super Mario 64 speedruns, or watching
Are we muted?
a bunch of TikTok videos and realizing that maybe I shouldn't.
PJ?
User-generated content is all around us. And it's often because
No,
it's
we're
creative,
talking
it
about the
fits
video.
a
No, no,
specific
you-
niche,
they
and
can hear
it's-
us.
With the growing number of
That's
creators,
cool.
there's honestly hours of content to engage with. And
If anyone's
since
got any
it's a
questions about what
BBC
they're
and this
looking
talk
at,
isn't
feel
about
free to put them into
YouTube,
chat.
Let's talk about user-generated content in gaming.
Yeah, and I'll post this this video in the chat and a couple of others.
To user-generated content. For
Yeah,
example,
fast forward a
since
little bit,
inception,
PJ. Just
Skyrim has had over 62
show some highlights.
Got an idea adding your favorite Pokemon to Skyrim, or building a whole game within a game, the possibilities are really endless. And for a second now, I want everybody to pretend that they're feeling especially inspired, that you've got an idea and that you want to add user-generated content to your game. And let's say that you've got this idea and you're thinking about what are the challenges I'm going to face. And if you've spent any time on the internet, you'll know this can be a big problem. And having spoken to many developers and hearing a lot of horror stories, you're going to have to find some way to quickly review content and make sure it meets your standards. Next, you'll need to think that all this moderated content.
Here you go. So here's the moderation side. So essentially, to prevent non-related content coming into the world, the current team of moderators will be able to check content after a user uploads it to make sure that it's suitable to go into the world. So we will then have a tool to check the user-generated content, approve it. Once we approve it, it's synced into the world, and you can use it on your plots of land, use it in the marketplace. Just enables us to maintain a little bit of PG friendliness on the content going into the world.
That's great. John, are they able to hear the audio?
Yes. Odin's Beard said that he could.
Yeah, no, this is a longer version of the video, so just we'll cut it out there and we'll post the link for everyone to see.
We'll post the link. It's a long one. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Maybe go back here. Okay. Yeah, that was a long link, right, guys? And yeah, but we'll share that to the community. There's like a 12-minute presentation. But what user generated content, UGI? What is this all about, David?
Look, well, we've already seen a lot of community members building out their own headquarters, their own mini games. So this allows you to import it into Unity editor, check it, make sure it all works with very simple step-by-step tools, so that essentially you're checking your own work before you send it through to us to be approved. And this doesn't just work for the community, it works for all the developers that are creating content for TCG World. And I'll give Top Marks a shout out here. He spends a lot of time checking these builds that come to us from Sandstorm and other community members that want their builds in the world, that this tool will enable them to check themselves, see how it looks, run around the building, make sure the poly count fits within the limits, make sure the build is going to work. And we will set up different size plots in the demo scene, so you can build on a silver plot, a gold plot, platinum plot, and a diamond plot, and check your build before it goes into the world. And the key to that is making sure that A, it's going to work, and B, it's going to work in Unity, because building in Blender is very, very different to building in Unity. So we want to empower everybody to use it and have those tools available for content creation. Down the line, you saw on the video there, it's not just for buildings. We can have 3D, sprites, vehicles, all being created by community members, checked by us to make sure it works before it goes into the world. So initially, we're going to open it up for buildings. But once we've tested it, and I haven't even had the opportunity since 2 days ago to check it yet, but once we see the full capabilities, we may open it up for more and more items. And the idea is the more that the community can create and be involved, the more the world changes based on community-based input. So,
and that's a reflection on the real world then, isn't it? Because obviously in the real world, people create their own things, and you've got that diversity of everyone creating things and having the empowerment to do things. So it becomes like the real world.
Exactly. It's got to be balanced. We've got to release things that we can test and we can make sure they work. But having a toolkit for anybody to be able to use to start creating their buildings, their businesses, helps the community along the way. So we will set the parameters of what we feel works after some initial testing, but this will be coming up before the full world launch, and these will be items that you can build for the full world integration. So, once your plot is ready in the full world, you build it in this toolkit SDK and then import it onto your plot. But also then you can create a gallery of different items you create. Everyone, please watch the video. There's a lot of different sides to this toolkit that allow people to promote what they've been creating.
I'm seeing a comment about the Unity toolkit not being that user-friendly, and the point is that this extra version
Is
has
gonna
been redesigned to be ridiculously user-friendly. That's where they're going with things, to make it as easily accessible as possible and easy to use. So again, it's early days. We haven't yet started using it ourselves, but
yeah, we can customize it to a certain degree. But the idea is to give an easier way for people to start integrating products.
excellent.
Yeah, this technology, I don't know, there's some questions about like the timing of when we'd start to see this come into the fold for TCG World, David. I mean,
I literally I walked out of the meeting and I downloaded it onto our Unity account, so it's there. I just need to do a document for the studio to set it up. So we will take some time to play around with it, to check it out, to see what works for us. But this is stuff that's available on our account now.
That's the key. We have access to it now. It's more of just kind of like figuring out how to actually layer it into the fold, I guess, for the build. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. That's pretty much the questions we have. John, did I miss any ones that we want to bring up here?
There's been a lot. I mean, the common one, and we have it on every single AMA, is timelines for public launch, and it could just come up again. When marketing, when public launch. So I don't know if there's anything we can say on that. As I say, it's a common one. It's come up a few times.
It's now, so the first launch is obviously the WebGL build, so that we can bring more people in, have more experiences with community, performances, actual real performances that are going to be from performers. So that is going into testing now. So John, Jace, and a few others have already started the testing. We give feedback, we get the upgraded version, keep going back until we get it perfect. Then we will open it up to the alpha testers. And then as soon as we get the okay from the testing group, we will start letting everybody in. There's no need to delay it. Everybody can come in and explore and start using it. We will start curating content. We've actually signed a music label on top of the Roasted Festival, so we will have curated music, DJs and stuff in between the comedy events. So that was agreed last week as to who that's going to be. I can't give the name of the label yet, but
I was hoping you would. Okay.
I have a call with them next week, and then we're going to finalize contracts and plan marketing. But they have millions of reach through their socials, so it's close to announce. I literally had an email from them today, confirming the meeting for next week. They also have access to a parent group, who I have had an email from to meet with next week as well. So
word of mouth marketing. Word of mouth marketing, right?
It's about user experience and people coming in. That then grows. So we will do marketing and advertise the events, but people in those events are what's going to help promote the products.
Odin's Beard is asking, how will people get around the city in the WebGL version? Will they be able to rent cars?
It's small. It's
like
small enough to run around.
Okay. Yes.
So
micro build.
We've kept vehicles out for now purposely because it had to be so optimized for all the different devices. We've kept the vehicles out until we've tested, and then we will see what we can add in after the testing is complete.
I can see Paul Rolfe has repeated a question, which I can actually answer, about the relevance of the name TCG World. And it's great that Paul's on, because he can talk about the original TCG vision and the fact that the assets that you will own in TCG World are essentially NFTs that can be traded, i.e. trading card game. And we're going to have trading card games within the Dragon white paper that includes it.
Yep.
The original vision's still there. Tell me if I'm wrong, a vision to have a shop within TCG World to allow people to... I'll let you take over, Paul.
Well, yeah, our original vision was to have a place where people can have trading card games and sell, buy trade cards, sports cards, Pokemon cards, stuff like that. And then that's where the name TCG World came from. And then we started with the Metaverse, and we still have our original vision that we love and is a part of TCG World. And there's going to be a place within the Metaverse where we still hold on to that original vision, and people can still do that.
And
And a
people
lot-
already can trade cards on the marketplace, trade plots on the marketplace. There's
And
still that.
there's going to be some upgrades to the current NFTs to make them more into physical looking trading cards. But we started that process with the vehicles. Now the sprites are coming in. So these are all individual collections of trading cards.
Yeah.
You know, we want the sprites to become, you know, you're collecting the sprites in the world and then you're trading them on the marketplace.
Just like you would in real life. Yeah.
So the relevance is still there to that question
Yeah,
about
yeah,
the
yeah,
relevance of TCG World and the name TCG World. It's a world of being able to trade these NFTs, which will look like
Yeah.
trading cards, because you will be able to. But unlike other assets in video games, they will have actual value that you'll be able to, if you wanted to, I won't be doing that, sell them for crypto.
Yeah.
I'll buy them.
Everything in the world has a limited rarity in terms of the sprites. There will only ever be X amount of that type of sprite. So once that type of sprite is gone and captured and evolved, that is it. There's no more. So, you know, I would rather release more sprites more frequently and have different types and different sort of breeds of sprites, but we keep to the set numbers. So once people have collected them all, that's their essentially Pokedex of TCG, where they're collecting all these different sprites to have them for their own use in the world.
And Paul, you've just asked the question, will that be the main driver now, or is it part of the new overall vision? It's how it's always been designed, but over the past few months or even year, we've extended it to more things like the sprites, the dragons, and everything that Dave's just said as well.
And there might be a few surprises along the way.
I'm sure there'll be some surprises along the way.
There is. So we've just approved the final design for some toys. So hopefully the samples are going to get ordered this week. It took a little while to get the rig models, but there'll be some snippets along the way as to what's going to happen with those and what they're going to be called and how they're going to evolve.
Well, gentlemen, we're up to about an hour here, and I know you guys are very busy over there, David and Paul, and you're up there in Canada and doing the good deeds for us and hitting the road. Appreciate that. I know, Paul, you did some traveling as well with David here to make this happen. I just will say on behalf of the community, we're extremely happy and proud that you guys are able to represent us at that boardroom table with Unity, one of the biggest developers in the world when it comes to gaming and all that. So just want to give my heartfelt thank you to you both doing this for us. It's extremely appreciated. And it just goes to show how much your guys' efforts are going into this. And let's not forget our Chief Gaming Officer, Jace as well. We'll get him back on the AMA here soon. He's also working tirelessly for us on the game and getting the build ready for us.
Everybody on the team just works non-stop, and it's phenomenal to see. And even the community.
Yep, we do it for the community.
Perfect. So before we let you guys go, we are doing a Gleam giveaway this week. It's running for plot holders. If you're in the plot owner chat, I do have the secret code. Those who have stayed with us, those who have stayed with us, there's a little bit of an inside joke with this code. David has been on a mission to gather his best form of what's the food that you're looking for, David?
Well, let's release the code. I think everybody knows that I've been hunting for poutine for the last few days.
That's right. That's
Well,
right. The code word.
I'm in the right
That's
country.
right. I got to give credit to the Sprite Report. He was the one who put the work on this graphic.
I'll make poutine wise here.
Yeah, I think we spelled it right, but it doesn't. I don't know if that looks as good as it should look. We'll leave Paul to tell us that does that look good? That poutine there for you?
It looks good, but not as good as the one I had yesterday. So I'll have to make sure David gets a real good one while he's here.
There you go. Treat him well. I know.
Might even go and get a moose steak.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's
I'm
sounds
sticking
interesting.
to poutine.
Yeah, that sounds very gamey, but yeah, I'll leave
Does
you
it
guys to
normally
that.
have marshmallows on it?
No, it's cheese curds.
That's cheese curds, not marshmallows.
Looks like
Roy
marshmallows.
was our friend who put that together. Thank you, Roy, for that. He said the goose will eat it if you guys don't, apparently. So
Amazing.
Well, gentlemen, I want to thank you very much. John, as always, thank you very much. You've been one of the best co-hosts on the planet. Thank you, sir, for your time here today. And,
Very
and David and
welcome. It's
Paul,
been a pleasure.
thank you guys
Thank
again.
you guys.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, PJ. Thank you, John. And thank you, everyone that's listened in.
Bye.
Thank you.
Cheers.
All right. Bye, everyone.
you.
Cheers
Bye.
now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.